this segment of Louisiana Sportsman TV, pro angler Greg Hackney will be targeting bass with a buzzbait. When conditions are right, Hackney knows that a buzzbait can be deadly for bigger bass. Follow along as Hackney gives some tips and tricks to help you get buzzbait success.
Look at the different coloration. That water's darker. Much darker that fish is on the back. Middle of the day buzz baiting. I mean, I fed the fish slow all morning, you know, and fish down, caught some fish swimming a jig, and you know, I just kept picking it up, and finally, you know, I'm not seeing them, but I'm pretty sure these fish are up running shad on these seawalls. And you know, we've not found that on any flat bank. I've done a lot of this because this is just a kind of fall time of the year. It's just one of the better topwater bait, you know, times. And I've been looking for this. You know, we caught some fish today, you know, doing some other things, but God, it just feels so right. And it seems like it's not happening every day till middle of the day. You know, in the morning, it still feels, the air's still pretty dead, but it's warming up, I guess, just enough to get them active, because it seems like in the morning time, they don't want to break the surface. And now when they finally start showing themselves, I mean, they're eating the bait. Yeah, I'm basically just running these seawalls with that buzz bait. You know, I'm paralleling them, trying to keep the bait. And the biggest reason for that is just keeping the bait in the strike zone. You know, so if I was just casting straight to the wall and pulling back out, you know, I only have the bait in the strike zone. It's just like when I fish this boat dock. So if those fish are on that boat dock, if I throw straight to it, I only get 2 or 3 foot while that bait's in the strike zone. But by paralleling it, you know, I'm just keeping the bait all the way back. I'm fishing the whole cast, basically. Got him. Good one, too. Fall of the year buzz baiting. When it finally goes down, it's special. Typically a buzzbait's good, like especially in the south, 55 degrees or warmer. I mean, so, you know, honestly, you know, in our part of the country, we get to use it 10 months out of the year. You know, when you get the northern part of the Mason-Dixon line, they'll bite a buzzbait when the water's in the high 40s. I've been on Lake of the Ozarks when they were crushing it, and it was 48 degrees. But that's a different fish. You know, we're fishing in the south, but still 55. I mean, I've had some big stringers in the spring. Front would blow through, 55 degree water temperature, and you don't catch anything but big ones. A buzzbait is a special lure. They don't bite it every day, but on the days they do, whew, it's not hardly because you notice just like this, I mean, we've covered a ton of water. You get those explosive blow-ups. I mean, what's not to like about it? That's what you like fishing to be. Just get better and better and get fun. You know, that buzzbait with that frog on it is pretty heavy, you know, so you need to learn to feather it. You know, you don't want it to, especially when you're throwing right to where you think the fish are, you don't want it to hit that hard. You know, you want to, basically what you do is like right before that bait, I'm watching it, right before it hits the water, I stop it. You know, and the other thing is, much like swimming a jig, the instant it hits the water, I want it moving. You need to be ready to engage that reel. So I'm using an 8-to-1 gear ratio. This is a BB1 Pro, loose, and my spinnerbait buzzbait rod. 'Cause see that? To have accurate casting, you want a soft tip. And you also want that soft tip when that fish engulfs it, you want it to give a little bit. I got 20-pound gamma fluorocarbon on there. And a soft tip rod. Now this rod's got some backbone, you know, but I want that rod to load up when he gets it. And that also, you know, when I'm throwing around these trees, it helps for accurate casting, or if I'm skipping it in under that boat dock, you know. Again, accurate casting catches fish that inaccurate casting doesn't. You know, it's not that, again, like I said before, it's not that I'm moving the bait any different. It's being able to put that bait exactly where that fish is. That's a 3/8 ounce Hack Attack Select Buzz bait with a gurgle toad on the back. Just a pearl gurgle toad. I caught some on white and some on pearl, but basically a slow to medium retrieve, and just, I threw it at cypress trees, grass, boat docks. Always a good choice for covering water, and a lot of times a better way to catch quality fish. A big fish will bite a buzzbait. So it's so much funny that, like, height of the summertime, peak of the summer, you would want to throw this right before dark and right after daylight. Really today I never even got bit on. I had a couple fish boil it early this morning when it was cold, but realistically they didn't even start eating it till 12 o'clock. And that's one cool thing about the fall of the year when that water temperature drops, that you can throw a topwater bait all day. A lot of times it's just as good or better in the middle of the day than it would be first thing in the morning, because they're biting it as the surface warms up, rather than when it cools down. In the summertime is when you get those bites. So rod and reel, this is my spinnerbait topwater rod, BB1 Pro reel, 8:3-to-1 gear ratio. I like a fast reel, not that I'm reeling the buzzbait fast, but it just makes it effortless, because basically it's just so easy to keep that buzzbait planed out on top. Another thing that allows this buzzbait to run, that you can reel it at an extremely slow speed if you need to do that, is by putting that gurgle toad on the back. It draws a lot of water, it's beefy, helps float that buzzbait, and basically all you got to do is just turn the handle and keep this buzzbait up running. 20-pound gamma fluorocarbon. I like fluorocarbon on the buzzbait because I like a low stretch, because a lot of times you're throwing that buzzbait a long ways, and when those fish get it out there to distance, I like a low stretch line, to get that hook in. But the main thing with a buzzbait, a fast reel, some good line, and a soft tip rod. Because one thing that you want to happen, when that fish engulfs that buzzbait, you want that tip to give a little bit and give that fish a chance to eat that bait. And if you've not tried a buzzbait with replacing the skirt with a frog, you need to do that. Because one thing that I do find more times than not, you don't have any misses. When that fish makes an attempt on that frog, typically they get it. And some of those fish today, basically had that hook all the way back in their stomach, because they come up and that frog is, it feels lifelike. It's not like hitting that skirt, because when they hit that skirt, yeah, it looks good, but it's hard. All they feel is hardness from the hook and the weight. And when they come up and get that frog, they feel that softness and they just engulf it. And a lot of times, in a tournament situation, I always throw a trailer hook, frog or no frog. But like today, most of the time fishing, I don't worry about a trailer hook, because I feel like that more times than not, those fish just get that buzzbait better with having that gurgle toad on the back of it.
So try out these pointers the next time you decide to throw a buzzbait, and join us here next time on Sportsman TV.